sourdough bread time. Okay, so I started down a sourdough bread journey. I made a starter on April 1st, or started the starter, and then you like let it sit for 2 days, and then you have to feed it every day, and you have to wait for it to grow. It's like a little baby that you babysit and feed, and then when it doesn't grow, you freak out, resulting in me writing a lot of notes to the woman whose blog I got the recipe from. It's The Little Spoon Farm. She's very lovely, and there's lots of tutorials on there. Made lots of mistakes along the way, like using bleached all-purpose flour instead of unbleached, which made it take longer for my starter to rise. But it was fine, sorted that out. The kitchen's a bit cold, so that was another issue, but was able to overcome that by just keeping the starter in the oven with the oven light on, which created a warm enough environment to help it grow. So then yesterday was finally like the third day of it having grown and risen, and so I was able to actually take some of the starter and make my first batch of dough for bread. It was probably around midnight or so when the growing happened, and you need to use the starter once it's in that expanded period, which led to me essentially going through a lot of the first steps, like 2 and 3 in the morning, which leads to errors. And I realized one of those errors when I put in too much whole wheat flour, which made a really dense sort of ball situation. So then I grabbed more of my starter, which luckily was still in the risen phase, and kind of redid it. So now I have 2 potential loaves of sourdough, one which might suck, but we shall see. So going on to the next step, bulk fermentation was last night. Like I said, it was like 3 in the morning or so when I finished. It's about noon now, so you are supposed to let it double in size, and it takes 7 to 10 hours, so we're there. Now I'm at the shape and second rise. So lightly floured surface. There's going to be some pulling of things. Parchment paper. Let me grab that. Okay. I've already cleaned the table. Let me grab some flour. And I'm going to put the hair up and wash the hands. So, remove the dough from the bowl and place it on a lightly floured surface. What's light flouring? Yes, that's light flouring. Sure. Okay. I can do 2 at once. We'll see. Alright, so then I'm going to pull some things. Okay, let's grab the one I screwed up first. Okay, so this is one of them. This is the one that I accidentally used half whole wheat flour, half all-purpose flour, and then later on read that she doesn't recommend using more than 30% of the whole wheat. So, oops. So then I made another batch, which we'll see in a second. Remove the dough from the bowl and place on a lightly floured surface. Just gonna go like this. No, oh wait, no, is it coming? I guess I need to get in there more. Maybe I should have taken off more jewelry. All right, see? Get in there, get in handsy. Oh, this is nice. Okay, remove the dough. Gonna do something like this. Sure, great. I think I need this bowl later. Okay, and now starting with some side of the dough nearest you, pull the edge up towards the middle. Up towards, ooh, it's stretchy. Maybe I didn't ruin this one after all. And repeat with the left edge of the dough. There's also photos, which are helpful. And then gonna do the other side. Make a little ball. All right. I wish I should have done some videoing last night because this dough was not as soft and pliable as it is now. Okay, turn the dough over and cup with your hands. And now what? Gently pull the dough. Wait, got it? Okay, gently pull the dough towards you, turning and pulling until you get a tight skin on the outside of the dough. Okay. I'm guessing it means like this. I think there might be a video, which maybe I should have watched. But, I mean, you know. Oh yeah, this looks like the picture. I really wish I could share some of this bread, because I don't know what Barry and I are going to do with 2 loaves of bread. Turn the dough over, up with your hands. Okay, we're doing that. One more time, with your chin. Place the dough ball into a piece of parchment paper and use the paper as a sling to lift the dough and place it into a small bowl for a second rise. You can pick up the dough with your hands or use a bench scraper. Okay, well, this looks like a ball, which more or less looks like our picture. I remember watching John Favreau has this show on Netflix called The Chef, based off, his movie, and he had a sourdough episode. It says it's very important that you don't treat the sourdough like the other doughs that you are used to kneading. So like last night, there wasn't any kneading. There was like this stretch and pull thing. You're trying to keep, I think, all the air in or something like that. Living. I don't know. Alright, parchment. This one side. I mean, how pretty is this supposed to be? Alright, I think that's good enough. And then we do, I think that's right. Okay, great. And that's it. Okay, and then we do it for the second one. I don't see why I can't put it back in here. We cover it. Use the paper as a sling. Place it in a small bowl for a second rise. I don't know if I'm meant to cover it. Yes, place the dough, this direction, place the dough along with parchment paper into a bowl and cover. Let it rise for 30 minutes to an hour. It will rise by 20%. And then we get to bake it. Okay, so let's do that. And we use a sleeve wrap. Maybe. And just cover it. And yeah, like this. That's good. And then dish towel. Clean dish towel. And then we'll put it on the stove to rest. I think that's good. All right. See you later. Now let's see the second one. Do we need more flour? We just rub it around. Rub it around. Same thing again. Okay. This guy is, so this one is the one I did 2 in the morning when I realized I screwed up the other one. And I think it calls for essentially 4 cups of flour. And so I did 3 2/3 all-purpose, unbleached all-purpose, and 1/3 of whole wheat. Yeah, so let's see. It smells really good. Yeah, didn't work the first time. Don't know why I thought it would this time. All right, get in there with the hands and get some flour on my hands. Black was a good choice to wear while working with dough. It's nice and warm. Oh, gas bubble, I see it. Oh, look at that, it's crazy. Oh no, it looks like it's falling. Alright, so the problem is you don't have to, this is really gooey. Okay, you don't have to oil the bowl or anything. Anyway, okay. So we have this, and then same again. And you pull it over, make a fold, okay, and then pull it over, make a fold, pull it over, make a fold. Big air bubble right there. I don't want to lose you, bubble. I'll be gentle. Make a fold, and then seam side down. This one's a lot stickier than the other. And then it says to like stretch and cup. Stretch and cup. Put some air in. I don't know. Could it be the one that I messed up will actually look better? And I'll pull the dough. How pretty does it need to be? I think I have to do another shaping anyway. Sharp razor. Oh, this is the last shaping. All right, let's make it pretty. I mean, that's just, I don't know what that little lump is. I guess it's just going to be there. Okay, well. In you go. All right. bit too much parchment there. Whatever. Okay, and okay, do another little. Okay, there we go. Everybody stay tucked in. Okay, looks like bread. Cover it with a dish towel. We'll see what this looks like in 45 minutes. Okay, so I finished reading through this recipe, and it says that I'm supposed to preheat my Dutch oven to 450 30 minutes before we're ready to bake. I'm going to let the dough rise for about 45 minutes. I need to preheat the oven before putting the Dutch oven in. So I'm just going to do that now. It's about to get warm in here. Also, I only have one Dutch oven, so I'm going to use a Dutch oven and a stock pot of similar shape. See what happens. Okay. Okay, so it's been about an hour. So I'm supposed to use a razor to score the top of the dough. Then use the parchment as a sling. Put the dough in the Dutch oven, bake for 20 minutes, covered, and then uncover it and bake another 25 to 30 minutes until the crust is golden brown. All right, so I think that's the good loaf. I'll do this one first. And I have both of my pots in the oven. Leave them in there for a bit. It doesn't look any bigger. Maybe it's a little bigger. Oh, I don't know. That definitely seems bigger. Okay. So this is a knife that I hope is sharp enough. And score it. And go this way. Well, make it pretty. Make it pretty. And then it says to like spray it with, let's see, water. You got a water bottle to help with spring. We're just gonna spray it with water before we put it in, or once it's in there. I'll make a little, see if we can make it pretty. Might just be messing us up. Okay. Another cut there. And another cut there. Sure. Okay. So that's this one. Pretty enough. And we grab off that one. Parchment paper and all. Sling it in. Okay. And then have a spray bottle. Okay, and put that in too. And this one got much bigger, I feel like. And break this off. And we'll do cut across. Cut across this way. Cut across this way. I see some air bubbles. And do a long one this ways. Okay, good enough, I think. Here we go. And same deal, different pots. Here we go. Okay, create a little cradle. The Dutch oven I'm using is about a 5-quart Dutch oven. I think you could use a 4. I don't know. Spray. With some water. Put the lid on. 20 minutes. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes and we're going to check it / take off the lid. And then let it continue cooking for 20 or 25 minutes. Oh, okay, that's cool looking. Pretty, pretty. But they both look decent. Let's see if you can see them on the camera. You can kind of see them. Let's see if we can zoom you in. There we go. The bread looks like bread. All right, we'll see what it looks like in 25 minutes.